Thanks for staying with us. And Bill O'Reilly in the Unresolved Problem segment. Tonight, as you know, politicians often change their positions, sometimes for honest reasons, sometimes not. Back in 1993, Senator Harry Reid introduced a bill that would have eliminated citizenship for babies born in America to illegal immigrant mothers.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough, how about offering a reward for being an illegal immigrant? No sane country would do that, right? Guess again. If you break our laws by entering this country without permission and give birth to a child, we reward that child with U.S. citizenship and guarantee of full access to all public and social services this society provides.
Now, 6 years later, Reid apologized for those comments, saying he was embarrassed by them. Of course, the anchor baby issue is now back in the news. With us, conservative pundit Ann Coulter. I thought I was watching you out there. I thought you wrote that for Reid in 1993.
No, I'm a little tougher.
Here's my question. On an issue like anchor babies, how can you change your position? I mean, it's not like abortion or maybe the war in Iraq or whatever. When things, are fluid, in abortion, people have conversions and this and that. But anchor babies is a basic public policy issue.
Right.
Is it fair to give citizenship to people who sneak into the country or not? So he changes his position. Why?
I think you're wrong that this is unusual. Democrats do it all the time in both directions. They'll say something based on common sense, then go check with the mothership. And oops, no, the Democratic Party does not believe in common sense, and they have to come out and apologize for it. By the way, that's the pro-abortion to, or rather anti-abortion to pro-abortion side. I can see someone being anti-abortion and thinking, and then seeing, a baby in the womb, seeing a sonogram. I can't see it going the other way. Or they say what they really believe, and they're crazy liberals, like Obama speaking to a group of Muslims endorsing a mosque at ground zero, and then they hear from the people and they change their minds. No, Democrats do this all the time because they're completely ungrounded. They are doing everything they say for political reasons, as Reid did with the mosque.
Reid really looked in 93 like a guy who was making a case that is being made exactly today.
Well, of course, because it's the only rational
you're rewarding illegal
point.
behavior.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Other countries don't do it, correct?
Yes, this is correct. As I wrote in my column this week, Democrats are always haranguing us to look at foreign law when it comes to, death penalty. Hey, could we look at foreign law and citizenship? Or are the New York Times and MSNBC, are they all nativists and populist nationalists now? Because Sweden doesn't do it that way. You have to have at least one parent who is a Swedish citizen to be
Sweden,
born.
if you sneak into Sweden from Norway, you can't be a Swede if you're an illegal alien. You have to have one Swedish parent at least.
That's right.
And in Great Britain, it's hard to get citizenship.
Right, basically the same thing, although slightly larger than being a citizen. You can be a settled immigrant, which is a very high class of an immigrant with a right to remain. So, you look at every other civilized country in the world other than Canada, and by the way, even Canada, well, it doesn't really matter. I won't go into the...
Well, Canada,
even the parents don't get
the
health care, the free schooling, all the free stuff you get. You can't combine citizenship by birth and a welfare state. It doesn't work. And by the way, it is being lied about every place that this is what the 14th Amendment required. Americans, what Harry Reid was saying was utter common sense. Americans must be sitting back thinking, what were they thinking back in 1860? Were Americans really worried? What is this?
No,
we have a
totally
guaranteed
citizenship. It was African Americans being liberated from slavery. It was Native Americans being tossed off their land.
It was not Native Americans. Native Americans were excluded from the 14th Amendment. It was all about Reconstruction. It was about freed slaves. This multi-culti rainbow coalition is a brand new invention. It wasn't like Americans were upset that deadbeats couldn't slip into the country, have babies, and start collecting welfare. And we didn't have welfare then. It's amazing they even thought about it. It was all part of Reconstruction. To get an amendment added to the Constitution is a big step. This whole anchor baby thing comes from a footnote that was not related to the opinion, in an opinion by Justice Brennan in 1982.
It'll be very hard, and I think impossible.
It is not in the Constitution.
I think it's impossible now to get that anchor baby thing to be illegal, because you would have to get they would tie it to the 14th. Then it would have to go to the Supreme Court. Is it part of the amendment or not?
Look, whether this is done by legislatively or by passing an amendment, I don't care about. I do care about being lied to about what the 14th Amendment says, and that is a lie.
Let's get into...
They can argue about what to do about it all night long, but the 14th Amendment was not to give illegal aliens the right to be citizens.
No,
it was specifically to give adult, full-grown, freed slaves the rights of citizens. Americans were enraged that the South, after we fight a civil war, are still not treating blacks as citizens. That's what the 14th Amendment was. We do owe blacks. We do not owe the entire world.
Going forward, I think it's almost impossible to get this anchor babies thing out of there. I can't see it happening.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we get Harry Reid to write a law.
You know, he did, and it went down. Reid tried.
When? Did
93.
And by the way, 93. No,
yeah.
93, it wasn't the problem it is today.
No,
we needed
that's
a few
true.
years for
but
the
Reid
Ford
is on the opposite side of the fence now.
We needed the Ford Foundation to spend some time getting illegal immigrants to come across the border and apply for welfare. Now it is a crisis for a country that's in bankruptcy. We need like one of those deficit tickers.
Right.
We need a ticker for how much anchor babies are costing American taxpayers.
Maybe 5 years from now, we're not there yet. Maybe with the new...
I think
if there's an immigration bill passed, that should be part of it. That would be a solution. You pass a new immigration bill and you say, we're going to give you a pathway to citizenship, but no more anchor babies, no more of this stuff.
And also, please note that this is why the courts are so important.
I want to give
liberals.
you a plug. Ann and Carville, right? That crazy guy, James Carville. You're going to be at the Atlantic City Hilton. Beck and I were there last week. Great crowd. Saturday night, right? And you're going to beat up Carville, I understand.
Yes.
You're going to beat him to a pulp. Is that right? All right. Well, that'll be where it's going. There you go. In a moment.